Hi, I'm Joshua Lim. I'm reprising my role Aaron in the 4th trimester.
Hi, I'm Wan Ahmad. I'm playing the role of Johan in 4th trimester. Hey.
Hey,
So we are here today to talk about what?
I don't know about
Parenting.
parenting, I guess.
I have to take tips from you, right? I mean, I don't have kids.
Just because I'm a parent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I could share a little bit more about the things that have made me find joy in parenting, and there's also a lot of things.
Okay, you're a father of how many?
Of two. I have two daughters.
Daughters.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
daughters.
they're 7 and 5 this year.
Okay.
Yourself, no kids?
Not yet.
But you're newlywed.
Yes, I just got married early January this year.
Right.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So still in a very nice mood with.
They call it the honeymoon phase lah. I think it's still in the honeymoon phase, but I hope it's a honeymoon phase for the rest of my life.
Yeah, of course. But that one also requires work, right?
Yes.
And of course, I think things will change if and when you're gonna have kids. You already know you're gonna have kids.
I want to.
Okay.
I mean, my wife would also want to.
Ah.
But how many? I don't know.
I see. Yeah. So yes to kids, but don't know how many.
Yeah, maybe
Right,
not a full football team lah. Maybe 2 or 3 is enough lah.
Half a football team.
There's still a lot lah. There's 6, you know.
Okay. So have you had this conversation already?
With my wife?
Yeah.
Yeah. We did talk about having kids, and we did have those pregnancy scare kind of thing.
Huh?
But it's not a scare because now we're married. Like, oh, are you gonna be pregnant? Check. No. Okay.
Oh,
but it's
okay.
like you don't want kids yet because for me, I'm like, we are not financially ready to have a kid because we haven't even gotten our first house yet.
Right.
So if we have a kid, it's gonna be a big financial burden, right? But yeah, but we had moments whereby, hey, my period came late. Let's just check. Oh, it's not. Okay lah.
How did you feel? So was it more disappointment or a little bit more relief?
Honestly, I thought I was gonna be relieved, but when it happened, I was quite disappointed. I was quite sad. I was like,
That's a very telling sign. How about her?
She was surprised with my reaction
Okay.
because she's quite chill. You get kids, okay? Don't have them, okay lo. We just leave it to God. And I'm like, oh yeah, kid, yes, now, no, oh okay, that kind of thing lah. So, yeah.
Okay. What about her? So she was like half.
She's okay.
So not really disappointed. Also not say like she was.
No, she's not happy there's no kids, but she's not unhappy there's kids.
Right. So really,
yeah, she's really in the center.
Okay. Nice. Okay. So I would say if you want to ask for tips, I think that might be the first sign. You know for yourself, like actually there is a desire because of the disappointment of not having at that moment. It tells you that is your heart's desire, right? It was an automatic reaction. Yeah. So maybe listening to that or being, at least you were aware of that. I think that's the kind of the first step, lah. Yeah. The how many part. I cannot answer for you. Maybe I just share my experience. So actually, it was a mixed bag. I think from the get-go, I thought, not that I felt, but I thought that I would have kids. I grew up as that kind of person that believed that there's a certain path in life that you just have to take. You will go through life like this. You will work. You will get married, and then because you're married, then you will have kids. So I was kind of like, in that sense, quite narrow-minded. Like there is just a set path, and I just follow. You know. So that's how I grew up thinking. And then when it came to the point where I had to discuss with my wife, or at that time the soon-to-be wife, like, do we want to have kids? Because it must be, I do believe right now that it must be a conversation to be had before committing to a marriage.
Definitely.
Because, yeah. And the how many maybe can come a little bit later, but whether yes or no, if both cannot agree, then that's a big problem. So I think at that point in time, her inclination was not to have. I think there was just a slight inclination.
Okay.
And then I didn't feel extremely turned off by it. I thought, okay, I can respect her decision, her reasons behind it. If we're not going to have children, I think I would have been fine with that. I would not be following that so-called set path. And I think it also just add on to realization that there is no set path. You can set it for yourself. Yeah. So that was that, I think, before, which is why then we proceeded to get married because we could agree on that. Then after that, I can't remember exact details. We came to a point where we agreed, okay, we will have children. And if we wanted to have children, it would be more than one. Because I think we wanted to give our children at least a companion.
I see.
Yeah. And
So now that
then-
you have two,
Yes, so now I have two.
Is
I
there
think
gonna
that
be-
was the plan. So
Oh,
if we have one, we must have another later on. Then the next question is, what's the age gap going to be? That kind of stuff. Then things like you cannot decide, like the gender, you
Yes,
cannot
yes,
decide,
yes,
like
yes.
whatever comes, right? You have to take
Yes,
it,
yes.
right? So ideally, I think we would have wanted one girl and one boy.
that's everyone's ideal. Even for me, I was like,
Right,
I want
so that's your ideal.
one girl, one boy, you know, that kind of thing. But I want a girl.
Oh, so must have girl.
Must have girl and must have son for the prodigy's sake.
So I think for me, I think it would be nice to have both because it's just nice to have like either of lah. So the first, my first one was a girl. I mean, we chose not to have a gender reveal from the doctor, whatever. It was a surprise during the delivery itself. So it came a girl. Oh, okay. So that was that. And then we kind of very soon decided to have a 2-year gap because we felt that would be a nice gap, not too little, but not too big a gap. And then ideally it would be a boy. So she got pregnant, and a few months in, when it was time to be able to tell the gender of the baby, it was revealed that it was a girl. And fuck, I was slight disappointment. But I can tell you right now, I'm so happy.
Why?
Energy-wise,
Like-
I see my friends or like my brother, and I see my nephews. They've two nephews and one niece. Just the amount of energy required, and just imagining that I have to go through
Is
that.
it because boys are
I'm thankful.
like more
I have to go through
rowdy, that noisy in the home?
I think they demand more physical energy.
Actually, that's true because my brother-in-law has two young boys. Oh my god, they are running around, and even me at this age, I don't want to chase after them. You know, let them run, let them be tired, but they won't be tired. And when I run like a short distance 10 minutes like that, I cannot take it already. You know. So, but my father-in-law could still chase these kids and carry them. They're just like, yeah.
I guess when
Maybe-
a grandparent, huh?
Yeah,
It kind of rejuvenates.
the energy comes back.
Yeah, kind of. They do say like as a grandparent you kind of you reparent,
Yes,
right?
I see that.
It's a second phase, a second chance, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah, I do see that. And now that you have two, would you want to have a third?
Yeah. So the plan was to stop at 2, and it still pretty much is. But somehow the past 1 year or recent 2 years, toying the idea, I want to have a third one. And I'm like, no, it's enough. I mean, you talk about the financial, but I mean, it is
Yes.
expensive to have one child, let alone 2, let alone 3. So that was that consideration, and then there was the energy consideration. But I think my wife was feeling very curious because got 2 daughters. What's it like to have a boy? You know,
It's like taking a gamble.
yeah. And then what if it's another girl? Like, hey,
They have to have a fourth. Hey, they have to have a fifth. That was what happened to my mom because the siblings. Okay, need to know my mom is very old person. So she has 12 siblings in total.
right.
So my grandma keep on trying to get a son 11 times, and the 12th was a son.
Oh my gosh.
So
But this kind of story quite common, right?
Yes,
Of a certain generation, yeah. Yes. I know of another family who have 7 daughters, and then the 8th child was a son. So that aside, I think she was a bit curious, like, because sometimes people say, girls easy to take care of lah. So she was, I think she's of the mind of like, kind of like want to challenge herself, that she will be able to take care of a boy as well, or rather, I think satisfy her curiosity to know how to bring up a boy and what it's like to bring up a boy in the way she would like to parent. Yeah, but that's still the plan is still to just we're done. That's the plan.
what is it like to have your newborn baby in your arms for the first time?
Wow. Oh, this brings back. I don't know. I can't even remember the moment now, but I can remember a picture of it because we have pictures of that. I think just feeling very like this thing is so precious. Yeah, it's just such a. They say babies are miracles, and I mean there's a whole song in Matilda the musical. There's a song of miracle. And I think it took a while for it to hit me that it really is such a miracle because this person was conceived at that very moment with the specific cells that came together at that specific time and place out of a gazillion number of cells that could make that. And that just kind of blew my mind. And then now to develop into an infant in my arms, it's just a very precious moment, and it's quite indescribable. It's like you're lost in your own world for that moment. Nothing else kind of matters, and it's just you and her.
Because when you ask about whether I want to have kids, I want kids, blah blah. But I never ever thought of the moment if I have my first newborn in my arms that small, and I don't know what it's gonna feel like. Because throughout my life, like when I got married, on the first day after I get married, I'm like, did I just get married? You know, that sinking in feeling comes later.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
So if you have a kid, what kind of sinking in feeling you would give?
This reminds me of like 1 week later or something when the baby came home and she's in a cot. And then like, I don't know, just one more, I just remember hit me. There's another human being in my home.
It just hits you.
Yeah, there is another human being in my home. She's there. Yeah, it hits you like at random moments.
Yeah, because I realized that a lot, and like I want to get engaged, then I want to get married. Then it took me a while to sit in with all these milestones in life, and then now I think about having a kid. I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna sink in with it because it's gonna take a long time. Maybe not 1 week.
Actually, you also mentioned that you haven't gotten your home yet.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that I suppose like if that's your plan to get home first before having kids,
I hope.
You hope.
I hope,
yeah,
I hope,
because
I hope.
who knows, right?
Yes.
Things can happen. But if that is the plan, I remember also moving into my new home. Just felt very surreal. Like, yeah, this is my place now. You know, I've moved out of my parents, my previous home. Then now I'm here by myself with my wife. It is surreal and it can happen quite a few times.
Yeah, that.
But don't set yourself up for it, I think.
I think I shouldn't.
Yeah,
but
don't
it's
keep
just
thinking
like
about like, oh, what's it gonna be
looking
like?
forward, like, wow. If you know, they're just imagining seeing your own creation in front of you. Yeah, that. But how's it like to raise up 7 years of a daughter? 7 years old, right? Your daughter? 7 years of raising up a girl.
It's been 7 years of being a father. Wow.
I want to know what happens in her school. What do you have to talk to her about?
Oh,
Now this is where
now
the
primary
juice
school.
of it.
Yeah, it's a different ball game. Going to primary school, like even the registration for primary one, I just remembered last year I didn't want to get caught in this rat race. I mean, keep hearing stories about how people move, you know, get too closer to the schools that they want and all that kind of stuff. And I just purposely chose not to get caught up in that, so I didn't move anywhere. Then I remember doing the phase 2A and then didn't get the spot that we wanted, and then just feeling like maybe I should have moved, and that kind of a bit of a regret.
But what about her social life though?
Yeah, I think she has adjusted very well, socially speaking. Yeah, I think she's the kind of girl who is able to mix pretty well with her peers, mix pretty well with her teachers also. Yeah, I'm a bit scared she's like the teacher's pet. It's like a good thing also, but like also don't really want her to be too much of that, you know. Yeah, but she's adjusting very well, which I'm very thankful for. So there's not a lot of things to handle when she comes back home. Yeah, but 7 years is very fast. Yeah, there's a saying, the days are long, but the years are short. So before you know it, like, yeah, then she's suddenly in secondary school already.
Okay. But okay, as a father, because you're not a lady and you have two daughters, do you think she has unveiled all the things that happen in school to you?
Yeah, I think she is coming to that age where she reveals, I think she knows to go to mommy for certain things and to go to daddy for certain things. So I think kids generally have that sense. You know, after having lived with your parents for this number of years, you know what they are like. They probably have tested already very unknowingly. If I say this thing to mommy and the same thing to daddy, what is the response? I think I feel better with mommy's response, then I'll keep going to mommy for these things. But if I feel then other things like daddy gives a better response, then they go to daddy. Yeah.
Because for me, it's like one thing I fear is you don't know how to advise your child on how to deal with the things they go through. For example, if my daughter comes up to me, say, Papa, this person called me a bitch. Then I'm like, oh, you call her back. I cannot tell that, you know. You call her back, tell her mother. I cannot do that, right?
Well, you can.
I mean,
You just have to be like consequences.
But I mean, I wouldn't want my daughter to do that also. You know, for girls, sometimes they want to, it's their best friend. They want to find a way of how to talk to this best friend. So that kind of social skill gap, as a father, you want to fill that in. You cannot just, you know, treat the same way.
I wonder, I mean, I don't know whether there's a skills future course for such things. No. It's a very social thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just imagine. So if my daughter would come to me and say that her best friend called her bitch or some mean thing, what would I say to her? I think first thing was to find out, like, okay, what happened. I think understand the situation.
Okay, yes.
You know, it's only her point of view, her side of the story, but at least do that, and then understand, and maybe try to tease out a little bit more or underlying what happened, what was going on with her, what's the kind of dynamic she has with that friend. I think the most important thing is to just show that you are with her, and not necessarily giving a solution or telling what to do. That might be her question later on, but she might find the answer for herself if you are just there to listen and let her talk things out. She might click some things by herself in her head to realize, okay, maybe next time I can tell the friend, I don't really like you calling me that. If you really think I am, then maybe we don't need to be friends. If she's that mature, which you never know, it might surprise you.
Okay, the thing is, what if your daughter,
is the one,
is
right?
the one, you know? But then she tells you, oh, this friend called me a bitch, and then but when you actually understand from her perspective, whenever she says, you feel like, okay, maybe she's the victim. Then when you actually see it in front of you, things change and you just like...
Right. So if she's the aggressor as opposed to the victim, I think it goes back to the same principle. Just seeking an understanding of the child's state at that moment of why is that behavior presenting, why did she say or call another friend a bitch or be mean to that person. There must have been something. It's probably a reaction to something. Likewise, if a friend has called her a bitch, maybe she did something also, right? So it's always a reaction to something. Yeah. And I think as a parent, then your responsibility is to, yes, I think you want to teach your child the so-called correct things, the okay versus not okay things. But more importantly, I think to be on her side. On her side. So whether she has done something okay or not okay, you are on her side to guide her what is okay and what is not okay.
Because here's the thing.
Does that make sense?
For me, it's such a difficult thing when you say something is right or wrong. Because I don't usually find one thing to be right, one thing to be wrong, because everything has a reason for why it's like that. So the way I educate myself, I find it hard if I want to educate my kid the same way, because it's going to confuse them, you know?
Okay.
So when we talk about raising up a kid, you are not just raising up them to have them to eat well, rest well, have good clothes, roof, but it's also bringing up, educating their brain, educating their mindset. So that is the tough part, because if I educate them the way I get educated and the way I educate myself, you are going to be so confused, kid.
What's going to be confusing for them? Like, how were you educated that you are a bit scared or afraid of?
For example, let's just take a simple example. Robin Hood.
Okay.
Stealing is wrong by law, or it's wrong. But I can see why people steal and why I can say that's right to steal. But I can't tell my kids, no, you can steal if this. But you can't teach that, you know.
Then my question is, why not? Because if that is what you personally believe,
why not? Because
and you can justify, then why can't you teach that?
The fear if they steal, if they get caught, regardless of what your justification is, they have to face the consequences that they stole. Regardless of whether it's a good reason, bad reason. So that's the difficulty you may have if I have a kid. You know, I want to tell them what's the right thing to do, why you should not do what you shouldn't do, why you should do what you should do, but it may lead them to a bad consequence because law is still a law. Okay, regardless of how you can justify yourself.
I guess maybe that can be part of your educating,
Yeah.
because you say that the consequence, like if you still choose to do that despite what I told you, then the consequence is as such if you get caught.
Yeah.
Right? I guess maybe that can be part of
I
your
guess.
educating.
I mean, I only know after I have a kid. So now I don't know.
Yeah, I picked up just now you said something like what's right and what's wrong, because not everything is totally black and white, right?
Yes.
I think what I've learned as a parent past few years was to change the words right and wrong to what is okay and what's not okay. Like it is not okay to hurt physically, emotionally, to be mean. That's not okay. I think that's very quite clear cut, right?
Yes.
Whether it's right or wrong, that then places a judgment on that action or the behavior. So I think okay versus not okay is, I guess that's still kind of like a judgment, but it's a more okay definition for things to categorize things as okay and not okay versus right and wrong. Yeah, there seems to be less so-called damage in using those two terms. That's what I've learned. Yeah. And then if you've done something that's not okay, then you apologize for it. Yeah, so like kind of like basic principles to use as you go by facing the different contexts of the challenges that come up.
I think apologize for it. As a parent, to apologize to your kid is very important. I feel it's something that a lot of millennials, I'm a millennial, we don't get.
As kids, we didn't get from our parents.
Yeah, that's why I crave to have a kid.
Okay.
So that I can give that. I wanted to look after someone.
I think you're touching on reparenting actually.
Is it?
It's
That's a term.
that there is in psychology, I guess, or in the world of parenting, there is something called breaking the cycle, because intergenerational trauma is a thing. Generations pass on their traumas to the next and next and next. So it is up to someone to break that cycle. And I think what you're talking about is you are actually trying to break that cycle. Maybe you have seen your peers breaking that cycle from parents who, no matter what, even if they've done wrong, they don't apologize. But then now you see your peers, if they've done something wrong, even if it's an accident, like, oops, sorry, I stepped on your toes, just very simple, just say sorry, kind of thing, to model to the kids that it's okay to apologize in the appropriate context. That is a form of reparenting to break that cycle. I think that's just one very salient, simple example of that. And you also mentioned trauma. And so in the world of psychology also, in terms of parenting, there's this intergenerational trauma is very deep-rooted. And I think it will take a lot of effort to first understand what your trauma is.
Yes.
That you've gotten from your caregivers as you're growing up. And then what is stuck inside you that and I can say from personal experience that I have found myself caught in moments of like rage or anger with my 2-year-old kid. And I think I mentioned this before. My wife actually caught me and she told me like, in all my years of knowing you, I have never seen you this angry. And I was like being such a angry person towards my 2-year-old child for something like not brushing teeth properly. Yeah, so I guess in some way that was a trigger for me, and that probably informs or is a beginning of being aware of what's inside me, the trauma that I've had from whoever, that is starting to come up because I have a child. Yeah. And if you don't have kids, I think maybe this intergenerational trauma might not even turn up, because then you don't get triggered if you don't have kids. But having kids, there's something special about it, because it's your own flesh and blood exhibiting some kind of behavior that in some way just trigger you in unimaginable ways and turning into a person that either you hate being, didn't know you could become.
Like your kid teaches you to be you.
I think it was something like, in that moment, I suddenly became another person, or a person that parented me, like for example, my dad, or it could have been my mom or my helper at that time. And Asian parenting, the archetype that we know nowadays, the Asian parenting is very harsh, kind of parenting. Yeah, and then this just naturally evoked in me. Yeah, and it just took my wife by surprise, and myself by surprise as well. Sometimes I find myself like, oh my gosh, I sound like my dad. Yeah.
I had this discussion with my wife, who's gonna be the good cop and the bad cop. And I was like, easy, B, let me be the bad cop.
Okay.
I'll be the bad cop, no worries, I'll be the fierce father. Then she's like, then I have to be good cop. So my mother-in-law saw our conversation, heard our conversation. She's like, one says only. Later have a kid, he'll be the most gentle cop.
Correct.
Until I'm like, no, I can scold my child. And she's like, no lah, look at you already, I know lah, you confirm got a kid. My daughter has to be the bad cop. But I don't know, for me it's like, I'm excited to see what kind of person I'll be when I have a kid.
Yeah. I think it will be very interesting for yourself to see what you become. And I think perhaps the key thing, if you're asking for tips, is to try to just increase your awareness of yourself, of your internal processes that's happening as it's happening. And it's not easy to do that, especially if you're caught up in a difficult moment and getting frustrated and all. To be able to take a step back in your mind and then see that, oh my gosh, I'm reacting this way.
Daily learning process that's going on with your father.
Which takes practice. Yeah. So still want to have kids?
Yeah, most definitely. I think it's the parts of life you can never buy. You have to experience it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah? Definitely, yeah. Have you ever come across people who don't want to have kids, like your peers, maybe just newlyweds or whatever?
Yes. Actually, before I met my wife, there was this other person. We didn't make it through because she didn't want to have kids.
Oh, so your ex, is it?
Yeah,
I see.
So at first, I was the one who doesn't want any kids.
Oh.
She was the one who wanted kids. Something happened in the relationship and then it just flipped the switch.
Oh.
I wanted to have kids. She didn't want to have kids.
Right.
So I have been with a person who doesn't want to have kids at all.
And you have been a person who didn't want.
Yeah, I was a person who didn't want kids because I hate kids. Kids are annoying. Kids are just a noisy bunch of meat walking around.
I do not disagree.
But after I see my my nephew, I'm just like, actually to have a kid is actually nice. And I want to have, like I said, I want to reparent a kid. And I know that's what I really want. Yeah. And also in my religion, it is a blessing to have kids. When I got married, I was quite concerned about money and everything. Like I said, everything is financial burden.
It's a very abundant mindset.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. I wasn't like this. I wasn't like this. But now that I got married, I get to taste this.
Can I ask you then, thinking back when you were your previous self, when you didn't want to have kids, what was the reason?
I just found kids as an obstacle to what I want to do.
Right.
So for example, I want to be an actor. For example, I want to act here and there. If I made it, I'm going to be traveling a lot. I'm going to have kids and everything. And then I have friends who are actors, also having kids, also travel, and they made it through. So I talk to them. I talk to them, ask their experiences, the challenges they go through. And I'm like, in all the pain, the obstacles they go through, I still feel like there was one thing in them that when they speak all these things, they would go through it again. So yeah, those kind of things really open my I wouldn't say eyes, it opened my soul.
So this is what you would share with people who are close to having children?
I mean, if they don't want to have children, it's their problem.
I guess this rings back to what I was saying just now about how I grew up really just thinking that there was a certain path set for you in life and you just follow it. Like after primary school, go secondary school, then after go to... I see, actually, it stopped at secondary school. I didn't know what happens after secondary school. I just see my parents, they work and then they get married and then they have children. So I thought that's just what people do. I didn't know that like people can set up business. I don't know how they set up shop downstairs at the void there or whatever. And this must be special people. Then that's why they can own a shop and sell things. I was just that, for lack of a better word, dumb. You know? Then to become a father, I didn't know what to expect to be a father also. The only model I have is my own father and perhaps the other uncles that I have seen the way they parent my cousins, and that's it. And it seemed to be the same way because my dad was an office person, working in an office A lot of my uncles also were office people, and then my cousins that were around the same age all just got the same kind of disciplining, caning.
Understand.
Yeah. So then now as a parent myself, then also with more knowledge, I think the kind of education, I think we need to understand that there's a different kind of education that we have received, the information we have now versus the information they had then. So on one hand, I personally wished that that generation of parents could have done things differently. But at the same time, I know that they just did the best they could with whatever they had at that time. And now I'm also just doing the best that I can with the information and resources that I have. Yeah, and I think it's important to, now it's just a reminder for myself, like to not be so harsh on myself, and perhaps also not to be so harsh on the previous generation if there's any resentment or blaming there. Yeah.
Given that, because I also teach like drama programs or CCAs and everything, so I see a lot of kids. And like I said, because my millennial friends are all taking care of kids they call it the soft parenting lah. Let's just put it as that lah, gentle parenting.
Gentle parenting, yeah.
Then I saw the kind of kids that come out from that. And then, yes, I also agree that I don't want to parent the way my parents do. But at the same time, when I saw this, and then at the same time I was thinking, if my parent parented me like this and I turn out like this, if I parent my kids like that, will they turn out like me or will they turn out like that? So that's a question that's been bugging my mind also. I don't know about many actors lah, but for me, as an actor, this trauma educates me about life. These feelings, the deep feeling of loneliness lah, rage, all these things, I went through those feelings because of whatever my childhood was. But if let's say all of this childhood was erased from me, I'm not who I am now.
I hesitate to use the word trauma there, because I think trauma is actually quite specific, especially if you're just looking into the world of psychology. The word trauma is specific to a certain thing. I think perhaps a better word to use is a certain kind of hardship, a certain kind of having to struggle. Maybe struggle is a better word.
Struggle, yes. I think that's the best.
Without struggle, then there's no growth.
Yeah.
The old saying of no pain, no gain rings true. If you don't do your resistance training, you don't build a muscle, you know? Then, but you don't purposely, one shot must have carry 100 kg already, right? You know, there's different things like scaffolding, there's also doing things in a safe way. I think, I mean, when a baby starts to toddle around and it starts to walk, the struggle is natural already. It's not you go and purposely make a 1 month old try to walk already, right? Naturally, just as part of their development, they will struggle with those developmental phases to get to the next milestone, right? So I think in life, the struggles will already be there. And I have to say, I also don't like the word gentle parenting. I don't like the term because it gets misunderstood by the other end of the spectrum that thinks that you're too soft. Yeah. And I agree with the certain behaviors and concepts that these so-called gentle parenting parents use, but I don't know, I just generally don't feel that that's the catch-all term. It has to balance.
Right.
Okay, so I learned this in a parenting course. So as a parent, you have to be the bigger person, you are the wiser person, the stronger person. Okay, in order to take care, you have to be those. But without kindness, you will just end up being a mean person. And if you're only kind and you're not bigger than the kid, you're not stronger than the kid, then you become weak. You see? So I think why the harsh parenting don't like gentle parenting, because they just seem as weak. And then maybe the children that you saw out of the gentle parenting turn out to be a certain way that you're like, why are you so soft? That kind of thing.
It's not the soft that is the biggest problem. It's the problem of being privileged.
Having a sense of being too
everything
entitled,
should serve them.
A bit kind of like very self-centered.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the scariest result.
I understand what you mean.
And
I also had that fear. So I also had the fear, if I parented my child too gentle, so to speak, then what if she doesn't learn the so-called right things? What if she doesn't learn the manners and be polite, courtesy, this kind of thing? Then the automatic thing is to model how you've been parented to like be harsh, to scold. not that scolding per se is wrong or disciplining per se is wrong. It's the method, the how. the harshness of it, I think, is when you become a bit too mean.
Yeah.
You know, like my rage versus a 2-year-old, like the proportion is not proportionate at all.
Yeah. I get what you mean.
So it's quite a big, very complex thing to really put down here between a conversation between the two of us right now. But yeah, there's your own trauma, the intergenerational trauma that passed down from your ancestors through your parents to you. Then now it's like coming out as you parent your kid. Then the balancing between being the stronger person and a kind person, to not be too weak but not to be too mean. All this coming out again.
Trying to balance all of this is just like, where do I go? What do I do? You know.
So then at the heart of it also is to then not be too harsh on yourself, that you are able to accomplish this ultimate balance of parenting to bring up the child so-called the best way. The term that I learned was not to be a perfect parent, because there's no such thing, but to be just good enough. Yeah. So the attunement of your child's needs just has to happen about 30% of the time.
30% of the time.
Yeah.
How would you calculate it?
That is the general principle. You know, you don't have to be I think the main point was to not be so harsh on yourself, to not expect yourself to be 10 out of 10, you are attuned to your child. You know, because you're also human. Also, you have to care for yourself. That you have your own frustrations, you have your own trauma that you have to deal with. You cannot expect yourself to be the perfect parent to bring up your child perfectly. Yeah.
I think it's the craving perfection that makes everyone think they cannot do what they can do.
And then it becomes in a way, it becomes a stumbling block also.
Yeah, I agree. But again, it's like all this parenting talk. I don't even have a kid anymore, and I wouldn't call it's a fearful thing to listen to. It's tough when you want to bring up a kid, especially in this country, because they don't have to struggle for anything. There's no struggle for food, for example. Because during my time,
you can provide, right? You have the means to provide.
Yeah, that's why. Because on my time, I remember going down to the mama shop, buy one potato chip that can eat with rice. That was all I could have. No, these are the kind of
your struggle. That's the struggle you grew up with.
So I know that if I have my kid, I wouldn't allow my kid to go through that. But if I don't allow my kid to go through that, they wouldn't understand what it feels like to eat potato chip and rice. And you have to be happy with that, you know?
I don't know. I feel like, but life has its own struggles.
There will be
different kinds lah.
So I'm just like saying, would their life struggle be enough to make them not privileged? Now that's something you cannot control.
It seems like maybe your, maybe this is like your trigger. If my child it seems to be like privileged sport bred. You're gonna maybe that it seems to be your trigger. Yeah. And I mean I feel that also. I also wouldn't want my children to be that way. But I think to provide for them is also part of a parent's responsibility, right?
Yes, definitely.
I think we have moved on as a society to this level where the basic necessities can be met quite easily already. That is, in a sense, that is our privilege, you know. And then we put that privilege to good use for our children. And then their next form of struggle comes in the next step in the hierarchy of
needs.
Which
is scarier needs.
Yeah, maybe like more emotional.
Yes.
Would you be able to provide that? You know,
that's the new currency. What would you do if your daughter comes to you and asks you that? Because you know, I don't know how to deal with that with myself. But I do not want my daughter to go through that. Because that was all we had when we were young. Oh, people fight you, fight back They will teach me how to fight just so that I can defend myself. So you fight back, but I don't think I want that. You know, and I just don't know what I want.
And I think society also has changed to not to teach the kids now to not do that also. Like, you know,
exactly.
When someone punch you don't go and punch him back. I mean, do your best. Just step away. At least protect yourself. But this social aggression, I think maybe you're more concerned about daughters, right? Having girls. And I think socially, they might have more struggles in that sense. Yeah. I hear stories from other parents also like, my daughter say now today are the best friend with this, the next day they become enemies. Then next day best friend again, that kind of thing. Like, okay, that sounds more like a girl thing than a boy thing. Not that boys don't have their own struggles among their own friends lah. But maybe turn to mommy for a bit for help. I mean, you can also just admit to her that not so sure what to do and just validate the feelings. I know that's frustrating, but maybe ask mommy for some advice if that's what you're looking for. I think that's what I will do lah. I'll just listen, and if I fail to come up with any good practical advice on the spot, suggest to talk to mommy. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do.
When I'm young, I know I am very headstrong. I'm easily temperamental. I will just burst if I want to. I don't give a damn. But at the same time, in front of other people, I will look like the nicest boy you ever met. I mean, you saw me when I was still learning about, this is my first time doing theatre. That was my first stint doing professional theatre. So you've seen me in that phase. I was trying to be a good boy to everyone, but deep inside, I had a lot of anger, a lot of temper that wants to come out, but doesn't come out. So throughout my life, I dealt with that. It was a difficult process lah. So then I had my own journey of exploring myself. So I stepped out, I learned. So those journey, that 4 or 5 years, I was constantly learning about where is my trauma coming from, where is this coming from, where is that coming from. And then at the same time, I left my previous partner and I met with my current wife. And she is my wife because she is able to see from 10 different perspectives that I couldn't see.
Wow.
She was able to tell me without hurting my feelings, but to just let me deal with things.
Wow.
That was why I made her my wife. Because I know I can talk endlessly. So that was me before, and me now, I'm just like, I'm more open to things to just happen, experience it, reflect, know that it will change again tomorrow. Whatever I think I am today will change again tomorrow, and it will happen. Allow it to be, right? With my wife, okay lah, I think this topic was a big hoo-ha in the Malay community in Singapore. I think like 2 or 3 weeks ago. About a month ago. Yeah, because they were saying whether the husband should support the wife fully or not. So this became a big issue in the Malay community in my country. But for me, there is no, again, one size fits all. We are in Singapore. One person cannot handle a whole family, right? So me and my wife, Izzy said, whatever that goes into your mouth, whatever that goes onto your body, it's my responsibility. You want to eat more, go. I just fork out whatever I can. And I hope that I can also do that for my kids.
Right.
Yeah, so whatever that's above them, whatever food they have, whatever, that one is on me lah. Because I have to be the one. But I am blessed that there is no like societal pressure to tell me, Wan, you must be able to do this as a man in the household. But me and my wife, we are quite flexible in talking about it. Yeah, so that's financially. Emotionally, of course, with my wife, the good thing is that I don't have to be, like how they say, men have to fake their emotions every day when they meet their other partner, try to always be strong and everything. But with my wife, I don't. I'm the most vulnerable in front of her. She knows every struggle, and I know every struggle of hers. And we don't go through it as an individual. We try to go through it together. We try to support each other to understand the hardships that we both have, and also to not correct each other when we are wrong. For example, if I do this action, if I don't feel it's right, I will say it, and we don't take it into an argument. We try to understand why we say what we say. So I'm thankful that my wife is capable to do that. So I don't have to. It's tiring to try to bottle up your emotions every time, right? You just want to go home and be as vulnerable you want to your significant other, but you don't want to be a fake person. So yeah, emotionally, I don't feel like as a man I have to tahan all the emotional, financial burden whatsoever, because my wife is able to understand everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, well done.
I'm thankful for that. I hope it stays like that.
I think the most significant change was having kids. Having kids is really the biggest life-changing experience life-changing event that can happen to your life. And then after that event, your whole life takes a total different direction altogether, in the sense of the lifestyle change. In terms of the household, now it's not just the two of you. There's one more, or in my case, 2 more people in the family. the whole logistics of it. Yeah, okay, but I mean, now they're 75, but much earlier, and just a newborn. Yeah, I think struggling to come to terms with being a father was probably the biggest thing that I had when my firstborn came. So realizing that there's something, the triggers that were happening, then that in turn also affects my wife, because then all the emotional burden, or rather the burden of then being able to emotionally meet the needs of my children, keep falling onto her. Then there's this thing about how, the woman is the one always supposedly, traditionally speaking, she takes care of the household. But why women always so tired and burnt out all the time? It's because of something called the mental load. The woman of the household really thinks about everything, all the minute details of like small little things like, oh, have I already refilled the water bottles for the kids? Change of clothes and stuff, like just the planning is such a huge mental load that I think men take for granted a lot of the time. Yeah. Okay, it feels like this is entering a patriarchy kind of conversation. But I mean, it has its merits. Like, it's because of the patriarchal society that we came from. Then a lot of men have really taken a lot of things for granted that the women do. And it's very unseen, it's very intangible until they stop doing it. Taking care of laundry, for example, keeping the home clean. I mean, nowadays, yeah, in Singapore, you just hire a helper. Those kind of things can get done. But what if you don't? Like in my case, I don't have a helper, and it's down to her and I to manage the household, at least what we have at home, and then also manage like my in-laws in terms of transport arrangements and logistics and stuff like that. So there's a lot of unseen tasks and things to do that I think I needed to adjust to picking up the load. Yeah, a lot of things that I didn't realize I need to think about.
If you don't mind me interjecting, this mental load thing, right? When I told you that I stepped out of my house and live alone, right? This mental load thing came to me naturally even up till today. So I don't know if it's a male or a female thing, but things like, okay, laundry day, I need to know how many days, I need to know what kind of outfit I have, I need to know whether this have that, I need to know water have enough or not, blah, blah, blah. All these things comes to me when I became independent. Now that I'm married, I carry that mental load in my marriage even.
Nice.
Yeah, so like laundries, it's always me. Even my mother-in-law went to my wife like, I always see your husband do laundry. You never do anything. And she's like, I'm working, what? But the thing is, I'm not doing it because I want to show I can do the work. But I know that at this date, my wife has this set amount of clothes, black clothes for her work. And if by this day I don't wash, she's not going to have any clothes.
Nice.
I know her undergarment is not enough.
Very good.
Yeah, so that mental load, I know, okay, by this day, whether I'm tired or not, I have to be up at this timing to do this laundry and hang up by whatever time.
Awesome.
So these things, this mental load thing, it kind of came to me after I was independent.
Okay, because you lived by yourself, you knew how to take care of yourself, and you knew what was in store in terms of taking care of your own space.
So I agree that you said that men don't really take that mental load because most men leave the housework to the wife. That's why they don't carry that mental load. So when I realized I've been carrying this, let's just call it the feminine mental load, then I'm like, actually this is not a gender thing lah. This is just, you want to live, you do lah. You need to know how many chili you have in the fridge left. You want to cook, right? You want to cook aglio olio. You got chili padi inside, don't have. Then you have to buy, you got 10. Today you use 3, the 7, what else can you do with that? So these are the random mental loads that you have.
Right.
Yeah, because in my relationship, I'm the one who cooks. So my wife don't really cook. So I think about.
Right. So are there things that perhaps that is supposed to be her doing that she doesn't do?
Traditionally?
No, not traditional. I mean like in your dynamic right now.
Easy said, toilet cleaning, laundry,
and is that like something split? You all talk about like, okay, you handle this, I will handle that.
it's like we didn't want to talk about it, but then when we look at each other, we observe each other's living habits. We're like, okay, you know what? You take care of this. I will take care of how I store things in the house.
Okay.
Then I'm just like, but B, I need my things to be messy because if it's messy, I know where they are. If it's too neat, I don't know where things are. I cannot live with neat. But she's like, no, you choose. So you have to compromise. Okay, I compromise. I do the laundry. You go and clean vacuum the room every single day. You go and this and that lah. She likes to do the bed. I hate doing the bed.
Right.
My logic
so you play
is
to your strengths lah.
yeah.
Right?
So we kind of complement each other in that sense. So like I think the mental load of her doing the laundry, everything is all carried away because she doesn't like to do laundry.
Right.
I love laundry. It's my therapy, bro. Don't disturb me when I'm putting my clothes into the washing machine. You know, that kind of thing. So yeah, it kind of, I don't know. It's amazing how God works for me because he found me a partner that fills up every single gap. As easy as eating ayam penyet, I eat tahu. She eat tempeh. She don't like tahu, I don't like tempeh.
Right.
So every time I eat with her, I got extra tahu. That kind of thing. So I just feel like this kind of thing it's amazing how life kind of
complementary.
Yeah.
The two of you.
So far, when you talk about mental load, that came to mind and I'm like, I was independent. And then when I met a person who hates the mental load that she has and I took over, it just became the two of us. It's not like, oh, I am doing the diligence of being a husband at home. You are doing the wife. Like, no man, it's our house. We do it together. There are days whereby I'm very busy. Like I just came back from Malaysia for 1 month for a shoot. I'm going back again next week. But she has been taking care of the house the whole time because I can't. But when I'm back, it's on me again. So I think that is what is needed. And that is parenting also because we don't see that in our parents. Right? But when we do it now, and I was thinking if my child sees that, that would break the cycle of, oh, men do this, women do that. Because my dad is the one who cooks and my dad is the one who laundry, but my mom cleans the floor.
So you saw that, or are you saying that new now?
I think that should be the new now.
Okay.
Where the child, because again, the child are educated not just by what you tell them, but it's by what they see.
Yeah, definitely.
So if they see the mom and dad doing things together every time, they will like, oh, okay, me as a man or as a woman, I have to do what they've been doing. Complement each other, that's a relationship. So I hope it stays that way.
I like how you say that then the mental load is not gender specific.
Yeah.
It's like you have a household, you want to take care of it, then that's just the way it is. And how you split it, you split among your strengths. Yeah. You are very lucky and fortunate that you all complement each other. What you don't like, she likes, and what she doesn't like, you like. So that's great. The problem is like, what boy you don't like something? What happens, right? Actually, do you have anything that like both of you don't like to do? The one person just has to do it.
I don't know. I can't think of any right now. Because even like insects, cockroach, lizard, whatever, she don't like. I can handle those. Okay. No problem. Yeah. Spider, you don't call me.
Oh, but then she handles spiders.
She handles spiders. I call her B, come back home, got spiders. I don't want to see the room.
You can handle cockroach, you can handle lizard, spider.
I said it's a huge spider, but she gave me just like that. Only one small spider. I said, no, I cannot. But yeah, I can't think of one that we both don't like and we both won't do.
Yeah. Very good.
As of now. Because I think it's still, again, honeymoon phase. There's still many things to learn about each other.
So we come back in 2 years' time and we see what's the situation.
Maybe fourth trimester again, we stage 2030.
No, so that's very good because more common, and I think I so-called suffer from that. It's like I didn't realize how much of a mental load that my wife had on her load, thinking about so many things. And then now, like my eldest is in primary 1. There's a lot of other stuff like everyday homework, to make, or not necessarily homework, but just things to do, things to be mindful about. Yeah, and then kids these days, like they got so many things to do also. Then as a parent, you need to be on top of, you need to know what they are going to do. Like, wow.
You already have your own things,
so,
you know?
Yeah, like, macam not enough. So I don't know, I think it's still a struggle, but I'm trying my best to like, I realize that this thing is something I can help with, just to be on top of things and not just leave it to her to jaga. Yeah. I think one thing that because she's not an actor, right? She's not in the industry. Then as people from the industry, then our schedules are always changing. when a project comes and then the project is this way, so okay, these are the timings. Then later, a few months later, it's like the whole schedule shifts. Yeah, so I think for my family, that is one of our struggles. Yeah, and then she needs to adapt. And yeah, that's kind of hard. And then with kids, I mean, it's really hard enough with just two of you. And now with kids, it's a whole, you're like juggling more balls lah. Yeah.
I understand. I think I'm fortunate because my wife knows the industry. She's been part of the industry. So she knows what is required out of my work. That sometimes we can work from 8 a.m. all the way to 1 a.m. even, that kind of thing. And just different jobs.
Yes.
That kind of thing, right? So I'm thankful she understands. But it kind of intrigues me how a person who doesn't know anything about your industry, like our industry right now, and they try to understand, because I think it's tough. Even for my wife, when I left her for 1 month, we just got married in January. And the whole of July, I'm gone. And she feels it. She thought it's going to be easy. She told me, I thought it's going to be easy. But then I realized this is so difficult. It's painful. It's like as if I'm not married anymore. Then I was like, no, don't say that. You know? But
and it's not just physically like taking care of the house. It's like emotionally, right? You're not there physically with her.
And when I come back and she hugs me and that kind of thing, yes, I'm there, but she cannot get out of the feeling of me being away again. Because I have to go off again for another 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
So she said that feeling kind of stings.
Yeah.
And I already told her before we got married, I was like, if I make it as an actor, go overseas or whatsoever, you have to understand I might be gone in 3 months, 4 months. Yeah, sure, it's fine.
Until she starts to experience it.
And this is only 1 month. And it's not that far, KL. And she's already feeling it. So now that you mentioned that your wife is not part of the industry yet, I don't know how she feels.
Yeah, I mean, definitely there's a lot of major adjustments to her life. And I think she's the kind of person who likes structure, likes routine. And develop routine, like just stick with it. And it makes life easier. I mean, obviously, changes can happen, adjustments can be made here and there, but not huge major changes, like every 3 months is a whole different schedule altogether. Yeah, so I think that has been tough. It's pretty tough.
I can
Come on,
sense.
so now you and your wife already like that. Then next time I have kids, and then if you're gonna be this big star 3-4 months away,
What big star?
in Hollywood,
Just a small crescent moon. No lah. But oof.
give me points to ponder. Yeah.
There's so much excitement for me to, because I like to experience things. So when I have a kid, I want to know how I deal with those things, I want to know.
I think she's the one who has made a bigger sacrifice for me and the work that I do, the industry that we're in, and the crazy schedules here and there. I think she's the one who has made the biggest sacrifice in that department. And then at the same time still be able to manage the household, still do her work very well. Yeah, just, I'm in awe of all the things that she's done. Yeah, so in terms of myself, I think, I don't know what sacrifice I've made. I've just always been working on the premise of just trying to support as much as possible, as best as I can, with whatever that I have, that I can. Yeah, so I'm not so sure what else to add for that. I don't know, how about yourself?
I think for me, I wouldn't call it sacrifice. It's more like a volunteered sacrifice. Because, I don't know, I am big on saving money and kind of thing, investing. And I know I'm going to save this amount just for me and myself. But when I'm married, it's like I don't want to save for me. I want to save so that my wife can be happy. I want to save so that I can go back to my wife and she will pay back with the emotional love. That's why I wanted to. That's like, forget all these big things. I don't need them. Like you can ask my wife. I go out with her shopping, whatever. I barely buy stuff for myself. I barely buy stuff. Like she has to force me to buy. Like this got this in KL. She came back. She came to my shoot for a while, and she's like, "B, this is very nice." I'm like, "Yeah, it's very nice, but I don't wanna." this very nice wear, that. She had to force me to buy, Then she's like, you deserve it, you deserve it. She always tells me that, you deserve it. Because I rarely reward myself. So it's like as if now whatever money I sacrificed for her, it kind of came back to me in that sense. So yeah.
You're a very giving person. You are thinking of her. And then in an extended way, when you have children, they're going to enjoy this givingness of yourself.
Yeah, and it's something I didn't expect for myself. Like I said, I'm always learning about myself. When I got married, I learned like, oh, this is me. I would do that. I didn't know I would do this. But yeah, and I think my wife currently am sacrificing the inability to control my work. She has to come to terms with it, like it or not. She wants me to succeed in this field. She prays for me every time, and she always be honest with all the work I've done. And she wants me to really, really succeed. But at that one thing of success, for me, it's sacrifice for her. I have to be gone. I have to work like that.
Yeah.
And I think she is doing that sacrifice more than I am. Like same like as you lah, what you mentioned about your wife. So I kind of understand why how to find what sacrifice I've done. Yeah.
In terms of like getting into a relationship, you know how a person makes you better? Yeah, so that's how she has made me. Like I become a better version of myself because of her. Yeah. And not for her,
Yes.
I mean, ultimately, you're also doing it for yourself. You're not just becoming a person for another person, right? Yeah. So I think that's how I feel with her. Being with her makes me want to become better. Yes, for her, but ultimately for myself.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's like you don't want to do it for that person, but you want to do it because you have that person. That kind of feel. I agree. And for the men, right? Men out there, right? My biggest advice is, I think first, there is this one saying lah, I don't know, it's famous lah, Malay like to do this, I don't know why you have to fear your wife kind of thing. To me, it's like if you have a partner now, and if you fear everything that you do with your partner, don't. You cannot be with a person who you will fear in the future, because it will make you do nonsense things. It will make you do things that you cannot fathom. It will make you do those kind of things. Because you are always going back home fearful. You want someone that you can be fully vulnerable with, your emotional vulnerability as well as your physical vulnerability, every single thing about you. That person has to be able to accept, then get married to that person. For me, I hope whatever I'm saying stays the way it is, because I feel I'm very blessed to be married, and everyone's like, oh, once you get married, this is gonna happen, this suffering lah, what lah. I was already expecting that. But when I got married, how many months has it been? All I felt so far was good. Not because honeymoon good, but I don't feel so much pressure. I feel calmer. I feel like there's always a reason to wake up tomorrow. I think that's the most important thing.
Nice. What an enviable position to be in.
Don't envy me so much lah.
Really?
7 scenes yeah.
It's like very blessed.
I'm blessed lah.
Yeah.
I really am very appreciative.
Maybe I don't know, like for those people who are contemplating kids, I mean like whether I will encourage people to have kids or not. I think I would discourage more than I will encourage. Because if after I discourage you and you still want, that is a sign. Yeah, I think that to that person, if they still feel that, despite all these things, these struggles and hardship, I still want to have a child or children, then great, then really good for you. Yeah, so I think I would actually discourage if you think that you're not ready to have a kid, think some more first. Maybe try to feel a bit more ready. But at the same time, this is a kind of a catch-22. I think you will never be ready. You just have to do, and then you will get ready as you do. Yeah. But if you have also doubts about having children, in terms of how you're scared to be a parent, or you feel like it's going to get in the way of your life, then you're going to end up resenting having a child because of that. So then you're probably safer not to have a kid. and don't compromise on that just because your partner wants to have a kid and then you have to give in just for that. Yeah, then I don't think that's an okay reason to have a child. Yeah.
Compromising sometimes quite dangerous also because you just forgo what you feel and just follow, and it's not going to be good on you in the long run, right?
He is going to come back.
Yeah. I agree.
But you already want kids anyway.
Yeah, I
right?
do.
Can I try to discourage you?
I mean, whatever you've been saying, I think can lah. Just go through with it.
I think you also have your own fears anyway. You naturally have your own, like you asked me those questions about like, oh no, what are you going to say when if you have a daughter and then your daughter asks you these questions? Yeah, you already have your own, your own self-thought difficulties and challenges ahead of you.
Preparation.
But at the same time, you still look forward to it and you want to be prepared to face that. Yeah, that's great.
I think I scared myself before anyone could scare me. Kind of thing.
And despite the scares, you still want to go ahead with it. Hopefully that speaks volumes about your desires.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope it stays. I've been using that word for many times. I hope it stays like this. Thank you everyone for listening to us talk. And I'm Wan, this is Joshua.
And we are going to be in the 4th trimester, a play by Faith Ng. We'll be in November. Get your tickets at Cistic.